Yo, 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 what's going on, Zen G? That's right, it's your host with the most, Zen G, bringing you another episode of Zen G. If you don't know, I'ma let you know. Zen G is a show where we Gen Z get together and discuss topics that affect our generation. This week's topic, Gen Z, yes, our generation, my generation, is being considered as the driest generation. Who's making this equation? The maths simply ain't mathing. But before we get into this topic, let's talk about something very frustrating. These pesky paps, they have no respect or privacy for top stars like me, Zen G. Now I know what you're thinking, Zen G, don't you love the attention? And to that I say, yes I do. But what I don't like is their silly questions. Look at what happened to your boy earlier this week.
Oh my god, is that Zen G?
Oh yeah, I am indeed.
Oh my god, I'm such a big fan, Zen G.
Thank you so much. Let me ask you a question first. Are you Gen Z?
Yeah, actually I am.
That's amazing.
Yeah, Zen G, I've had this query for you for such a long time, actually.
Ask away.
You know, MZ Richie, your
that guy.
partner in crime, of course you know it. What do you think of him?
What do I think of him? Top guy.
What's he like?
What's he like? He's amazing. He's funny. He gets to a point, do you know what I mean? He's an amazing interviewer. Speaking of, have you seen his new interview?
No, actually. What's it called?
So he's basically gone out asking people what they think of Gen Z being the driest generation.
Driest generation?
Indeed. You know, like drinking?
Yeah. He's gone out and done like interviews.
Yeah, no, so he's interviewed a bunch of people and he's got a bunch of answers compiled. Have you not seen his interview yet?
No, I really haven't.
You should definitely give it a watch.
Okay, you know what? I sure will. Zen G, wait, is that fake gold you've got on?
The interview? The
What?
Driest Generation? Yeah, no, you should definitely watch it.
Okay, no, but the chain, can I touch that?
The interview. No, yeah, you should definitely watch it. As a matter of fact, play it now.
Yeah. Yo, what's going on, Zen G? It's your boy, MZ Richie. Word on the street is Gen Z is the driest generation. What happened to our hydration? But is that real, or are we just misunderstood? Let's find out in the neighborhood. But first, let's look at some stats. Alright, let's talk about something truly special. No, another scandal. And no, not the price of Freddos. Something even bigger.
Gen Z is drinking the less.
I know. Pick your jaw up off the floor. Get ready for more.
If you go back a couple of decades, going out meant one thing.
Pints, shots, and truly regrettable decisions.
But fast forward to today, and suddenly, 1 in 5 Gen Z Brits don't drink at all.
That's right, completely sober. Not even a cheeky G&T.
In fact, young people are drinking 20% less than millennials did at the same age. And millennials were already drinking less than Gen X. So, at this rate, by 2050, we might all be clinking glasses of tap water. But why? What happened? Did someone spike Gen Z's WKDs with responsibility?
First off, health is a huge factor in this generation. Growing up with fitness influencers telling them about gut health and meditation instead of just downing snake bites at the pub.
45% of young Brits say they avoid drinking because of health concerns. Turns out, hangovers and anxiety don't mix well. Social media plays a big role too. Back in the day, on a bad night out, if you embarrass yourself, it was just a funny story. Now, it's a viral video with 3 million views, and a comment section that never forgets. And then, there's the biggest twist. Alcohol just isn't cool anymore. Forget pub crawls. Sober raves, alcohol-free bars, and mindful drinking events are on the rise. 44% of Gen Z are even saying that they prefer cannabis to alcohol when they want to unwind. But don't panic, alcohol industry. We know you're worried.
That's why the market is changing to low alcohol or no alcohol drinks.
Sales of non-alcoholic beer in the UK have doubled in the past 5 years. Even Heineken is out here saying, fine, we'll make it 0%. So, is Gen Z officially the driest generation? Maybe. But hey, at least someone will remember the group chat stories the next morning.
Enough of this yipper yapper.
Let's go to see what the streets are saying. Gen Z is known as the driest generation.
Okay.
Do you know what that means?
They're not drinking as much alcohol?
I mean, I drink maybe once or twice a week.
I think Gen Zs in general are more aware of their bodies, and they just realize the consequences that alcohol would eventually have on their body down the road.
So I do think Gen Z don't drink as much now, just mainly because of the cost of living.
Yeah, I don't think necessarily when they go out it's the same culture perhaps as when I was their age. I think there was probably a lot more drinking to excess when I was in my early 20s. Not talking on behalf of me, some of my friends. I don't necessarily see that in Gen Z.
If you look at a lot of the places around here, we've got 7 brothers behind us there. I can guarantee if you walk in, you'll probably find pints for like £5-7, which is incredibly ridiculous. Whereas if you're going back to say 1960, 70, when like Gen X was born, no, it was later than that. But anyway, if you go a bit further back, it was a lot cheaper. So I'd say that they probably did drink a bit more, just because for our generation, it's a lot more expensive.
I don't know if we are talking in terms of like maybe 50 years ago, maybe 30 years ago. Yes, of course it was cheaper, but then people were earning less as well. So I don't think that could be one reason, but I think it's more to do with the health, because you could still get a pint for £3.
It's like not a club culture anymore really, as opposed to how when I was at uni. Those two things are kind of like the main factors, I think, as to why you don't drink as much as previous generations.
When you go out drinking on a night out, how much would you spend on that night on alcohol?
Well,
What kind of a night out are we talking?
Alcohol's more expensive. I can spend probably £25-30, and that's what, 4 pints?
On one trip to the pub, maybe £15.
We used to have these things called the Hulk, so you used to get a WKD, Red Bull, and then it was like a double shot of vodka in it for £2.50. There is no way in hell you'd ever get that nowadays. Just, like student drinks, it used to be a lot cheaper, but you're talking, say if you get a cocktail or a double vodka and Diet Coke, something like that, you're talking maybe over £7 nowadays, or for a pint, it's extortionate. I think so anyway.
if it's like, say, like in Manchester, then you're looking at like a lot on a night out.
100, 200 maybe. If I'm going to the pub, I'll try and spend maybe less than 50.
Yeah.
But if it's a club night out, you're looking at 150.
I'd say it depends a lot on location. 'Cause like, Manchester's expensive, but say you go to like a smaller town, you're not looking at spending too much to get drunk. And plus a lot of people will drink beforehand and then go out, and then they don't spend as much.
That's true.
There was far more clubs in Manchester, I think. There's not as many anymore. I mean, Fifth Avenue was a really, really big club, and that shut down. Yeah, there's only like a couple, isn't there now? But again, the club culture just isn't there anymore.
There's just not a lot of reason to anymore.
If you ask me back in college once a day.
Yeah, exactly. When like I was going out drinking, you were going out to get hammered. You were going out to not be able to remember what you did the next day. Mainly now it's just like a social event rather than like actually the main purpose to get drunk.
It's a difference in like the culture of the time as well. Like you're in college, you've just turned 18, you've got a bit of money to you. The main aim for if you're going out is to get hammered.
Yeah,
as you said,
exactly.
not remember your night. But at the moment it's more just social, trying to catch up with someone. I can't remember the last time I went out purposefully just to get hammered.
Yeah, exactly.
Say when you were 16 and then COVID started, it happened over a period of 3-4 years, is it? And I think you lost that kind of gap, didn't you, of going out and drinking and having that kind of social setting. It really affected that generation.
Okay, well, we were drinking and I threw up in a kid's playground bin. That's the story. This was like 2 years ago maybe, so I was 20. We were drinking, pre-drinking for a party later. We decided to go on the, swings and slides and all that stuff, all that good stuff. I maybe went on one too many, because with the 2 or 3 beers down me in a kids park, one of the
attractions in one of those parks is a little thingy you sit in and then you get spun around. Yeah, I went on that. Got spun around a bunch. Went, uh-oh. Stop it. And then I just hobbled to the closest bin.
How was the party afterwards?
It's pretty good. It's your boy, MZ Richie. The results are in. Opinions on Gen Z being the driest generation? Mix.
Thank you, MZ Richie. Now let's hop on the Gen Z plane, avoid the rain, and bring the pain. Over to you, Jimmy D.
I'm here in Australia, home to the most stunning creatures on the planet, to see whether Gen Z are a more sober society. Today I'm on the beach with
Lovisa
and
Nura.
and I want to know whether being the first generation to grow up with mobile phones affected the way you think about drinking.
I mean, I don't know. I guess maybe. We see it much more like on social media, and it's, I don't know. I mean, our parents didn't they knew that they were drinking, but I mean, we know that everyone's drinking. And it's like a social thing to do.
Yeah. Do you feel more peer pressure from your friends to go out drinking?
Yeah, sometimes, but not that much though.
When you were younger, at like 16, and you were starting drinking. Then.
Yeah. And do you have any siblings or anything that could have helped that, or maybe even affected that?
I have a younger brother, so no. I feel like if you have like an older sibling, that probably affects when you start drinking, but I don't think that it didn't affect me, no. And I don't think I am affecting him either.
That's good. I'm here with
Charlie.
And I want to know whether you think drinking and dating go well together.
I think so, yeah, because sometimes drinking gives you the confidence to go.
But do you think that it is a must?
Nah, it's not a must. If you really like the guy, you should go talk to a sober, but...
Would you prefer to be sober, or have you successfully done it more sober?
Realistically, I'd like to be more sober, but the confidence I get from drinking just, gives you that extra boost.
And do you think that peer pressure goes towards that, or...?
Sometimes a bit of peer pressure, go talk to that girl, but that makes it worse for me. I kind of just do my own thing.
Today I'm here with
Noah
from
Norway.
And today he's going to tell me his experience about being sober.
Sober?
Yeah, no alcohol.
I thought you were here to give me free drinks.
Oh, no. It says online that Gen Zs are more cautious about their career paths. Do you agree?
I don't know. I feel like previous generations had more pressure on them to get an education. Now I feel like people are more free to do what they want, kind of.
Do you agree?
Yeah, I agree.
It says online that Gen Z are more financially aware and responsible. Do you think that's because the lack of drinking in today's society?
I guess it might. I don't really think Gen Z is financially aware, at least in my own experience.
I agree. I think in my experience, how I act with finance. In my experience, how my friends act with money and how I do, I wouldn't say I'm so financially aware.
Looking at today's footage shows that Gen Z don't really know that they are a more sober generation. Now, in the 2 years I've been legal allowed to drink, I haven't, and I've moved across the world, been out partying, met friends, been to the club, and I've not felt any pressure at all. So, this has been Australia. I'm Jimmy D. Back to you, Zen G.
Thank you, Jimmy D. Now let's see what the younger side of Gen Z had to say about this topic.
In my opinion, I think this generation is absolutely I'm 14 right now. When I'm 18, I'll be clubbing, partying and drinking.
What a little rat. How dare he say that in my chat? Regardless, a big shout out to my pimpy field agents MZ Richie and Jimmy D. Gen Z being the driest generation, that honestly increases my frustration. Someone get me to the frustration station. Yo, Zen G, welcome to Frustration Station, the show where you, the nation, let out that sensation. If you don't know the rules, it's okay. Sit back, relax, and let me explain. Each round I'll present a scenario, a moment in life that makes you want to scream, sigh, or even roll your eyes. The contestant will then have 10 seconds to draw a reaction on a whiteboard. The frustration meter will then decide how relatable that reaction was. The more relatable you're drawing, the more the meter increases. If you reach the end of the meter, you will walk away with the ultimate stress relief prize, a mystery box full of goodies to help you chill out. For example, these stress relief balls, this slinky, these cute animal pictures, whatever this is, and many more things. Now that we're all caught up with the rules, it's time to meet today's contestant. They're quick on their feet, sharp with their minds, and always on the grind. It's the myth with a gift, it's Faye Smith. Alright Faye, welcome to Frustration Station. Are you ready to let out that sensation?
I'm ready, let's do it.
Loud and clear, that's what I like to hear. Now let's shift into reverse gear and get right into these scenarios. Scenario 1. Me when I wake up in the morning and realise I forgot to put my phone on charge. Time will start now. Been there before. If you ask me, it's just another excuse to stay in bed. Right, Faye, time's up. Let's see your reaction. See me, I can relate, but I'm not the frustration meter. With that being said, let's see what the meter's saying about Faye's reaction. Starting off hot and hitting the spot. Let's keep it moving with the next scenario and see what we've got. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Scenario 2. Me when I look at my bank account after a night out. Time starts now. I, Zen G, can personally say I have spent a hefty amount on a night out, but it's okay because it's the good times that matters. Right, Faye, let's see what we've drawn. I can relate. Faye, what was your most expensive night out?
Probably about £150.
I've been there. Well, let's hear what the frustration meter has to say about your drawing. That's awesome. But before we move on to the next scenario, let's take a second, hit the deck, and let's take a moment and find out more about our contestant. Faye, tell the generation more about yourself.
So I'm 20. I work whilst I'm also a student, but I love drinking alcohol, just can't afford it, and I'm a big lightweight on a night out.
Good to know. Loving what you said. Now let's go full speed ahead and keep this game fed with a third scenario. Scenario 3. Me when I come home and there's a sink full of dishes waiting for me. You may start drawing, Faye. See, a life hack Zen G has. If you wash and go with your dishes, you'll never have a pile to wash up. And that's for sure. Alright, Faye, let's see what you've cooked up for this one.
Because I'm not going to do the dishes.
That's valid. Let's see if the frustration meter agrees. Ooh, seems the meter thought that answer was a little whack, but it's okay because you're still on track. Let's roll on with the final scenario. Scenario number 4, and the final scenario on today's show. Faye, are you ready?
I'm ready, bring it on.
Me when my manager asked me to stay till close, knowing they sent the original closer home to save hours. And your time starts now. See, Zen G's his own manager, but if that ever happened to him, he'd be And that's time. Faye, let's see your final reaction. Now that's a good reaction. Let's hope the meter agrees. Congratulations, Faye. You've won this week's episode of Frustration Station.
Oh my God!
How are you feeling?
I'm ecstatic.
That's awesome. Well, Zen G, it's been your host with the most, coming at you with another frustrating episode of Frustration Station. Hope to see you all next week. Back to you, Zen G, in the studio. A big well done to our newest, biggest winner on Frustration Station, the myth with a gift, Faye Smith. Just make sure you don't break that slinky too quick. Well, Zen G, it's been your host with the most, Hen G, bringing you the greatest Gen Z entertainment Gen Z can find. Make sure you follow me and Zen G on all our socials under the @, @TheRealHenG and @TheZenG. Also make sure to email us on heng@zeng.genz.uk if you have any questions or fun stories for your boy. Make sure you tune in next week to find out what Gen Z's been up to. Stay fly, stay high, and goodbye.